Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Utility Sports Plus. We have a fun one. It is a 2024 NFL mock draft. If you're not subscribed to the channel, why not? All of the football content you need is on this channel, the NFL and college football. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. And we're going to jump right into it. I'm not going to make you guys wait. Why? Because we have the Chicago Bears on the clock. Number one overall. There's a lot of question marks surrounding Justin Fields and the direction of this football team. And what better player to select than Caleb Williams? There's a pathway where this could happen in real life. I think this is a very realistic outcome. I look at the fact of the matter that they might have to move on from Justin Fields, and Caleb Williams would be that guy. There would be a number of teams lining up to potentially trade for Justin Fields, so they could end up getting some draft pick equity back and being able to select a true franchise quarterback that they believe could take them to the promised land. Caleb Williams is that guy here at number one. Number two overall, we have the Denver Broncos. And once again, to preface in this video, this is according to the standings. This is if the draft were to happen tomorrow. This is how I, laid out my list. But Marvin Harrison Jr. is the pick here. When you have a generational wide receiver available at number two, it's a no-brainer, in my opinion. This guy is going to be a superstar at the next level. Everyone is going to tell you that, and I firmly believe it to be true. So to me, at number two, Denver has to improve this offense in whatever way that they can. And why not get a guy that immediately, as soon as he's really steps into the league, should be a top 10 level wide receiver his rookie year. So to me, Marvin Harrison Jr. is the selection here. It's going to help out Denver tremendously. Following that up, we have the Minnesota Vikings. And to me, looking at the Minnesota Vikings, Drake Maye is the selection. The Vikings are desperate for a quarterback moving forward. Kirk Cousins is in his contract year, therefore opening up the door for selecting a quarterback. On roster here, they do not have any guys that they feel comfortable with moving forward. Jaren Hall is not going to be the solution. They could end up getting a rookie quarterback, and this is going to be start of a rephase. GM Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah is having to try to repivot out of the roster that Rick Spielman had built over the last decade, and now he has changed it to fit his identity and what he wants for a football team. Year one looked great, year two not so good, has struggled drafting, and it has been very evident by his recent draft selections in the last two drafts. So to me, I look at Drake Maye as a high upside quarterback, like that, a guy that can really sling the ball down the field, tremendous arm strength, anticipation, and his overall build-in configuration is exactly what you're looking for in an NFL quarterback. To me, it's blatantly obvious that they have to go here at number three with Drake Maye. Following that up, we have the Chicago Bears, and once again, Chicago is blessed with another tremendous player still on the board, Jared Verse from Florida State. He's a high-impact player, really good lower body, strong, and he has tremendously long arms. He has an array of pass rushing moves. And to me, the Chicago Bears are getting a super talented defensive player in this class that is going to make an impact on that side of the football. To me, they would not shy away from something like this. I have a lot of confidence in this team in terms of trying to rebuild and figure out this defense, figure out this offense. And they add tremendous high quality talents to each end of the football, offensively, defensively. And that is how you kick off a draft. So once again, a lot of prop to the Bears for setting themselves up for this draft. Ryan Poles is going to have to hit it out of the park in this upcoming class. Number five, we have the Chargers. Olu Fashanu from Penn State is one of those high ceiling prospects. You look at him from a physical standpoint, he's a physical specimen. Pass blocking, tremendous. Run blocking, tremendous. He's exactly what you would want to add to an offensive line, a little bit of tenacity at that tackle position. The Chargers already hit on a tackle selection with Rashawn Slater. I'm going to follow it up here by taking Fashanu, who could be a tremendous Pro Bowl level talent for many years to come. To me, the Chargers are absolutely hitting it out of the park with this selection, considering what they have on roster, an instant upgrade, and a guy that could be forming one of the best tackle duos in the entire NFL and to complete that process. So to me, I look as the Chargers to move forward with this, protect their franchise quarterback, which is incredibly vital here moving forward. I don't think that they would even think twice about making this selection because Fashanu is that good of a talent at the top of the draft. At number 6 here, we have the Las Vegas Raiders. And the Raiders, to me, are in a consideration because you have Kolton Miller moving forward and you have Joe Alt. Joe Alt could be another guy that you can form a tremendous tackle duo with. With the way that Kolton Miller has played so far, I think they would feel very comfortable here adding another stud tackle to that grouping. His pass protection is phenomenal, his biggest strength, and I look at him as a guy that could be a true anchor for an offensive line and that you can trust to put your quarterback behind. To me, Joe Alt is one of those prospects that, once again, you don't want to miss out. You have a tackle sitting there that is going to be a consistent player for years to come. To me, you have to capitalize on that opportunity. That's why Joe Alt makes so much sense for the Raiders, trying to figure out this offense, trying to figure out a true identity moving forward in a very competitive, AFC West. So to me, the Raiders strike gold here at 6. At number 7, we have the Cardinals. And to me, it's kind of the idea of why not? Why not move forward here if you're the Cardinals and be bold? I think that they could potentially look at that quarterback position moving forward. It's a lot of question marks that you have to have about this team. You have to have some question marks about the direction, but to me, taking the best player available is never a bad option. Brock Bowers is exactly that. Now, you could wait for the quarterback. You could take him here. To me, I opted for the path that is less chosen, but Brock Bowers as an overall talent is incredible. His upside is huge. He could be a top, potentially a top 4 level tight end as soon as he enters the league. Now, that is very high praise considering some of the top end talent that you have at the tight end position now. Mark Andrews, Kelsey, Hawkinson, you name it. There are some studs at the very peak of the position. But to me, Brock Bowers offers so much offensively. He's a matchup nightmare. Put him in the slot, line him up as a tight end. He offers that kind of burst and excitement for an offense, then that could be really good for them. Moving forward here at number 8, I have Malik Nabers from LSU. Man, he's the real deal. He's absolutely the real deal. I look at him from the standpoint of he can make plays down the field. Remember, guys, when I had done my earlier mock, I was including him in the first round when nobody else really was. So now it's a little bit of time to acknowledge that, I'm a little head on this Malik Nabers thing. I was very confident in him moving forward. He's part of the reason why Jaden Daniels is top 5 in passing yards so far this season. Had an absolute explosion 2 weeks ago. This guy is the legit wide receiver 1 for LSU, and I think he's going to be very impactful for the Tennessee Titans if this is the selection. They're looking for some more dynamism. They're looking for a guy to create a lot of separation for whoever's the quarterback for years to come, whether that's Levis, whether that's Tannehill, you don't know the situation here and how it's going to play out. But to me, adding a guy like Malik Nabers is going to add a lot moving forward. At number 9, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. Kool-Aid McKinstry is a fun selection here, considering they've already added, some depth here in that secondary. I look at this as one of those high impact players that can create turnovers, that can create havoc on that back half of that defense. And to me, the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be considering a lot of different things in the offseason, considering the start that they've had. They have to address a couple of different areas, but to me, selecting a player as talented as Kool-Aid in that secondary is going to make a big difference. Number 10, we have Jacksonville, J.C. Latham from Alabama. His versatility to play tackle, to play guard is exactly what this Jags team needs. Investing in an offensive line has been the MO for Trent Baalke throughout the duration of his tenure with Jacksonville, and I think it's going to be, clearly evident moving forward. Last year that was the move. They love investing in the trenches, and that is going to be the case once again for the Jags in this spot. Number 11, I have the Jets, and to me, Emeka Egbuka could make a lot of sense. Garrett Wilson, stud wide receiver from Ohio State, add into the mix here Egbuka, who yards after the catch, explosive plays, that's everything he screams. So this offense could be firing on a whole new cylinder heading into next season with Aaron Rodgers. Adding him to this grouping could be super, super fun in terms of the dynamism and what they can do down the field. To me, the New York Jets, this makes a lot of sense in looking at what they currently have and how to improve this roster. I like their trenches. I like their defense. But to me, in that wide receiver room, you can add a little more dynamism. Number 12, we have the New England Patriots. And with the Patriots, Michael Penix Jr. is the pick. Now, once again, I am kind of curious to see how the Mac Jones situation plays out. I don't think they're super thrilled about where he's at, but to me, Michael Penix Jr. could make some sense for this team moving forward. He's been the most prolific passer in all of college football this season, and that remains evident. When you look at his total yards and what he's been able to do at his final season here in Washington, it's been nothing short of incredible. The turnaround that he considered retiring after multiple injuries. To me, this is the true underdog story, and a lot of credit to the Patriots if they're able to make this kind of move at number 12, because he adds that level of arm strength, that ability to layer throws. I just feel like New England's not super content with Mac Jones moving forward. Number 13 here, we have the Arizona Cardinals. Laiatu Latu is the pick. Now, some people might be freaking out. What about the quarterback position? And to me, in this mock draft, I did not feel like taking a quarterback for Arizona. I really wanted to explore my options and what I could do, and I was able to net two guys that are, potential, top 7 players in the class, and maybe building it that way could make some sense. Now, there could be the idea that maybe they trade Kyler Murray, they acquire another pick, and they're able to select a quarterback there. But to me, I took a different path in this mock draft. Some people aren't going to like it, but at the end of the day, getting Laiatu Latu, a guy that we've talked quite a bit extensively on the channel in his rise as an edge rusher for this team, another high impact player, a guy that can truly get after the quarterback, create havoc, and be one of those players that could be a defensive leader for you. Arizona, once again, hits it out of the park with this selection. Some people are saying, hold on, what about that quarterback position? With how the draft fell to me, I made some adjustments on the fly. That's what I will say. But Latu here from UCLA could be a tremendous player at the next level. Now we have the Giants, a name that has continued to grow in the mock draft community, especially watching him against LSU. It was pretty evident that Keon Coleman, the Michigan State transfer, has found his place, has found his footing in college football. With Jordan Travis and Johnny Wilson, Keon Coleman, one of the most dangerous offenses in the entire country throwing the football, and he has been a big reason why. His ability to create separation, to create big plays, to be that explosion player guy for this team is super obvious. Now, I look at this from the standpoint of this is exactly what the Giants need. A little bit more explosion, a guy that can create a ton of separation in his routes. To me, Keon Coleman is a seamless fit into this Giants offense and could help them out tremendously here in the future. Now looking at the Rams, it's been pretty obvious to me that looking at the Rams, they have to address that offensive line. Graham Barton from Duke has put on a clinic, and especially extending back to last year, his pass blocking snaps has been one of the most effective pass blockers in the entire nation. And I think that, to me, this screams LA Rams. A good pass protector, you can play him at tackle, guard, whatever it may be, better suited as a tackle in my opinion. But to me, the Rams are getting a tremendous fit here in terms of the scheme and what they would be looking to do moving forward. Number 16, we have the New Orleans Saints. Dallas Turner from Alabama. Adding another player into this front 7 for the New Orleans Saints should be a priority. I like what they have defensively, a couple different spots, but to me, the versatility of a Dallas Turner, a guy that can defend the run very well as get after the quarterback, add some value in this league. His versatility should be noted, and I think it's going to push him into that top 20 in terms of selections. And here at pick number 17, we have Tampa Bay. And to me, Tampa Bay, at the end of the season, I don't think they are going to feel confident in the quarterback room that they have. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Baker wins quite a few games for them and wants to potentially stay there, and they want to move forward together. But to me, I see that this is a situation where they're probably going to draft a quarterback. Maybe they don't have a ton of confidence in Kyle Trask, but Bo Nix is the guy here. Think about his long, esteemed college career, has a ton of experience at the collegiate level. He's an accurate quarterback, can make plays happen with his legs on the ground, and to me, this very well could be a selection in the first round. Quinn Ewers is another quarterback that you could consider at this spot, but for me, I decided with Tampa Bay, they might opt to go with a more experienced Bo Nix here at pick number 17. Now, Jer'Zhan Newton is another player that we have to look at from Illinois. He's a total disruptor up the middle. He's a player that can create a ton of havoc in the backfield. Best suited as a run defender. True reason why Illinois is so stout up the middle against the run is Jer'Zhan Newton. Dallas could definitely use that in this division that they play in. A lot of teams that love to run the football, more specifically up the middle. And to me, Jer'Zhan Newton is going to play into the strength of the Dallas Cowboys and exactly what they need. To me, defensively, they're not done adding pieces to this roster. That's why at 18 it makes sense. At number 19 here, I have the Green Bay Packers, another player that's going to be impactful in terms of, moving the needle defensively. Leonard Taylor is a true disruptor. He's going to help them against the run, which they've had some issues with throughout the course of the last couple of years. But to me, adding him here is impactful. I like the pieces they have on offense, and they're going to continue to develop and look and see what they have truly. But to me, defensively, they're going to add some pieces, more specifically along that interior defensive line. Number 20 here is a name that I want you guys to get super familiar with. That's Tyler Nubin out of Minnesota, a true ball hawk, a guy that's instinctual, a guy that knows how to create turnovers. That is exactly what he brings to the table. And if you watch any of the Minnesota games, he flies over the football field, true defensive leader on the field. He is everything that you want in a safety and a guy in the back end. Very reminiscent of Antoine Winfield. If you remember him playing for the Minnesota Golden Gophers under PJ Fleck, that is the kind of player that he reminds me of. And to me, I think he is an awesome addition into the secondary that already consists of Derek Stingley and Jalen Petrie. Adding Tyler Nubin into the position, and they are going to go places, especially on that back half. D'Amico Ryans is going to lean heavy on his secondary. Now we have the Buffalo Bills. Xavier Worthy and his vertical explosion down the field is incredible. His ability to stretch the field out and create some big plays with his speed, his overall athleticism, short area quickness. That's what you're looking for in this Buffalo offense. A guy that can take the top off the defense and be a consistent burner. That's something I feel Buffalo has been lacking here. Stephon Diggs is a tremendous wide receiver, but a true speed guy to really get the job done down the field, stretching it out and putting a lot of pressure on safeties. That's where the Buffalo Bills need to lean. And to me, Xavier Worthy is a perfect fit for this offense. Now we have the Commanders, and Armarius Mims from Georgia is a player that continues to climb up boards. Was not on a ton of people's radars, but to me, with the Washington Commanders, there are some issues along this offensive line that have to be addressed. And to me, Mims is a seamless fit into this team and could really help out Sam Howell. He needs more time. He's a guy that, he's looking for the down the field pass. And to me, this makes a lot of sense adding a guy like Mims into this roster. I love this for the Commanders through and through. Now with the Seattle Seahawks, Chris Jenkins. Chris Jenkins is, again, a player that you have to continue to monitor, has been put on the radar this year, more specifically as of late. Seattle Seahawks are looking to improve this front seven. I think when you look on the interior of this defensive line, he fits in nicely. He's going to be a seamless fit in terms of the scheme, what they're looking to do, and guys that can really get after the quarterback. Chris Jenkins is a pocket pusher and can be a high impact player, especially in this NFC West where they love to, really throw around the football. To me, that makes a lot of sense. Number 24, we have the Baltimore Ravens, Kalen King. Kalen King is a man-to-man stud, a guy that shadows receivers nicely. And when I look at where the Baltimore Ravens are at in totality, that's probably where I would focus a lot of my attention. Marlon Humphrey being there is a huge deal, but adding a player like Kalen King, his ability to man up, they could play a lot of man coverage in that back end. To me, a true total playmaker and can make this, the secondary a lot better. Looking at the Detroit Lions now, another player that continues to go under the radar, in my opinion, is Mason Smith, a havoc wrecker for the LSU Tigers. His ability to, once again, to push the pocket and be involved in the run game. His stats aren't going to absolutely light your world on fire, but what I will say is when you watch him, they are so much more impactful against the run when he's in the game versus when he's out of the game. So he plays with a lot of talented players on that defense, but at the end of the day, Mason Smith is going to help out the Lions tremendously in that regard. It's been a focus for them to build up the front seven, a super hyper focus actually on that. But to me, Mason Smith makes a lot of sense at 25. 26 consists of the Kansas City Chiefs and a different archetype receiver. Johnny Wilson, humongous frame, one of the biggest receivers in all of college football. There are a couple concentration drop issues, which I think will be addressed. I think it's a little more mental than anything, but having his frame in the red zone is going to be a tremendous help for the Kansas City Chiefs. Then you have other guys that are able to go up, climb the ladder for the football. To me, that's the kind of element that they're missing. They have a lot of speed guys. They have a lot of guys that have great, short area quickness and can really get down the field. But to me, they're missing that big target there to help them out in the red zone. 27 here, we have the Atlanta Falcons. Shedeur Sanders from Colorado goes off the board. Some people are going to disagree with this. Some people are going to love this. There's going to be all kinds of people all over the board about how they feel about the Atlanta Falcons and making this selection. Shedeur Sanders can do it all, man. I mean, he climbs the pocket well. He can push the football down the field, makes good decisions. Now, I know a lot of people are going to point some fingers in that Oregon game, but at the end of the day, from the product that we've seen from Shedeur so far this year, he has totally warranted a first-round selection. Second in the nation in passing yards is nothing to sneeze at either. So the Atlanta Falcons, to me, could realize heading into the offseason that it might be a change or time to change at that quarterback position. 28, we have the Indianapolis Colts. A lot of this has to do with the situation with Jonathan Taylor. To me, Blake Corum from Michigan continues to find his way as a first-round draft pick. Short area quickness, his ability to have a low center of gravity and break off of arm tackles, those are all things that you need to make for a great running back, which he is able to do. Create explosive plays out of the backfield is one of his big things. So to me, a home run hitter in Indianapolis, I don't feel is going to necessarily flinch. Maybe there's going to be the idea that, we're just not going to take a running back. We're going to, run with Zach Moss moving forward. I don't know if that's something they're going to want to actually do. But, with some of the comments that Jim Irsay has made in the past, maybe they just don't value the running back position. It's something that's worth monitoring and seeing if they stick true to that word moving forward when it comes to a situation where they don't have to pay a guy yet. Number 29, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers, Cooper DeJean from Iowa. Talk about a player that seems very, very, he identifies well with the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of the toughness at the cornerback position. A guy that is not afraid to man up and man-to-man against anybody, can follow receivers across the field. Cooper DeJean is one of those guys that I feel is being a little underrated during the process, but at the end of the day, he's going to have to show people at the highest level here that he can play some ball, and I think that is going to be the case for him. So the Pittsburgh Steelers getting a little bit younger in that secondary, that is the ultimate goal of the selection. And here at number 30, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. To me, this is a situation where the rich just get richer. Chop Robinson from Penn State is a super dynamic pass rusher that can get after the quarterback. And to me, with Howie Roseman and his history of draft selections, I think that there's going to be a true high priority on another edge that they're going to bring into this, defensive room here. I wouldn't be shocked at all. Not at all. I think that it's a smart selection. This is a reason why they're able to rotate so many pass rushers in and out of their defense, keep guys fresh, and that has been the secret to success for this team over the last couple of seasons. And I think it's very evident that with a player as talented as Chop Robinson still available on the board, that is probably the direction that they are going to look. At 31, we have the Miami Dolphins. Braylon Trice out of Washington is the pick. I look at Braylon Trice as a high impact player that you're going to be able to move across the defensive line. This front seven is made up of a lot of speed and athleticism, and Braylon Trice brings that to this roster, can get after the quarterback effectively, and just another rotational pass rusher that the Miami Dolphins need. To me, he is a seamless fit into this defense, perfect scheme fit, and I love that for this team. And finally, at number 32, I have San Francisco, Kalen Bullock from USC, a playmaker. He's all over the field. There's so much to love about his game and how he can impact winning. To me, I think you might see a little bit of a change in that secondary for the 49ers moving forward. but another chess piece, a guy you could potentially put in the slot as well. This is exactly what the 49ers could look at and say, this could be our moving chess piece, a guy that you can stick all over the field and just make plays, impact winning. To me, that makes a lot of sense here at 32 for them. So if you did enjoy the video, enjoy NFL content, and love football, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more NFL draft content. I'm going to be producing that every week here at Utility Sports Plus. So I do appreciate you stopping by. We'll catch you in the very next Utility Sports video.